Hi, I've been getting a lot of questions about what is use case 7. And if you've been following along, I've been doing this new Carrera use case 7. I'll put a link to it there. Actually, I don't know how to do that link thing. I'll just put it in the description. So use case 7. So it's an idea that kind of came about organically a long while back. And it's an extension of the exercise when you're developing a reliability engineering program of defining use cases. And use cases are critical to both designing tests and to interpreting test results. And the use case includes environmental conditions and how the product is used. So of course, the stresses are direct derivatives of this. And very commonly in reliability, we do use cases, maybe 3. And sometimes they are very different, like desert conditions, ocean conditions, mountain conditions, or sometimes they're just the same stresses, but in increased increments. And effectively, all the same categories are there, but you have one that's 20% higher and then 40% higher of a base stress. And then sometimes we go further, and usually we get about 3 more. So then I said, well, what about the 7th use case? What about the one that you consider ridiculous? You consider abuse. You can't imagine somebody would do this. This is the classic, the guy uses his lawnmower and picks it up and does the hedges, right? That's not what it's supposed to be done, but it can be done. So let's do some exercises like that with your product. And so it became this exercise I did with teams, and it's a lot of fun. But this is why we do it. The first is there's a natural instinct for engineers to simply want to have the product be used the way they intended and at nominal conditions. And if we do that in developing our reliability tests and interpreting the results, you're not going to really see the failures that occur in the field because we already know your product works under the base stresses. What we don't know is what happens out, in the high variabilities, because that's where reliability problems happen, is in the variabilities. So in doing these exercises and you push a little further, we begin to discuss the strange ways the product's used. And I found that 3 things happen, and this is why I gave it a name and made it part of the exercise. And the things that happen are sometimes you find even a new market for your product. These ways it's being used that are, people begin to discuss what they've actually seen happen in the field with legacy products. You can end up with finding out that, wait a minute, there might be a market here. We've seen this enough and people trying to do this. What if we made a product that was intended to do this? And this can be pretty interesting. And I have seen it lead to new markets and new products. And another thing that often happens is we start off talking about these stresses and we talk about how ridiculous they are. And then we begin to realize, well, maybe they're not that ridiculous. Maybe, we like to think it doesn't get used this way. But actually, when we stop and really lay it out, 5% of our population actually might use it this way. And before you know it, that use case 7 falls into your use case 3. So those are 2 common examples of how use case 7 can be greatly beneficial to the program. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the idea. It's an easy exercise to do. Do it with your team. And I'll try to share more stories about it.